Kentucky's a really good basketball team, and to win the game, we needed to play very complete basketball, and we didn't rebound it well enough, and just couldn't get enough stops in the second half to win the game, and we didn't turn it over. We slowed their transition game some. I think they probably had less than 10 transition points, but we didn't do all the things that we needed to do to win to beat a very good team.
All right, we'll take your questions for either of the student athletes. If you'll raise your hand, and we'll get a floor microphone to you. Hands up. Questions for either of the student athletes. Hands up. Anybody? All right, Mr. Far right.
Kenny, just talk about, I mean, you got off to a slow start, obviously, like you were getting yourself into a little rhythm early, but just what happened for you, and how key was that didn't come through for you?
It was pretty key. During regular season play, shots were falling for me pretty good, and we had a pretty good handle on the game. But I started off a little slow and missed some good looks, but it just comes with the game.
Do you have a question on the left side?
Nami, talking about rebounding a little bit, Kentucky had a little bit of a size advantage today, and it kind of showed on the stat sheet. How hard was it going up on the glass against this team?
Well, from the beginning, we wanted to impose ourselves in the paint and then try to block them off, the big guys especially, and have Gar come and rebound the ball. And we did it effectively in a few periods of the game, but as I said, as it shows here, in a few periods we gave up a lot of rebounds. And that's something that we've been doing very successfully lately, and we really needed that to win the game. And unfortunately, it wasn't. We didn't do it well today, and then all the credit to their big guys.
Other questions for either of the student athletes? If you raise your hand. Anyone? All right, we'll excuse you to return to the locker room. Thanks for coming down. And we'll continue on with questions for Coach Fox. If you'll raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you. Hands up. Questions for Coach Fox. Start on the far right.
Mark, down 3, and Kentucky had what I thought was a key possession there. You talked about the rebounding already. They went up 51-43 at that one point. Can you talk about that spot, and then also just the rebounding difficulties that you had, especially in the defensive glass?
Well, I think it was 46-43 was the score, and they had back-to-back buckets, and that was a critical part of the game. It really was, and because I felt like had we been able to get 1 or 2 more stops and then maybe a bucket or 2 in there and take the lead, that we could have really made it interesting. But give them credit. When the plays had to be made there, they made them. And, we sacrificed some offensive rebounding today to try and get back in transition defense. So I thought that our offensive rebounding numbers may be down. But you're right, defensively, they just outworked us on the glass. And their length is an issue. Certainly it was a big part of the game.
Other questions for Coach Fox? Please raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you. Anyone else? Okay, let's go to the middle aisle.
Foul trouble seemed to limit a lot of your guys today. Just how difficult was it trying to figure out who to get in there? And your bench did help you in the first half, but you didn't get as much in the second. How tough was that?
Yeah, that's 2 days in a row we had significant foul trouble, and our bench kept us in it again in the first half today. We just couldn't. We didn't rally in the second half, but we had more foul trouble here the last couple of days than we've had for a while, but fouls are part of the game, and I thought the game was well officiated. We just, they're a hard team to guard. They really are, with their ability to drive the ball and attack the basket. They're going to create a lot of contact, and certainly with the new emphasis this year, that's going to result in some fouls.
Question on the right side.
Mark, you played them earlier in the year. Is there much difference between Kentucky now and then when you played them at Rupp?
We played them at Rupp. I started my center at the 2-guard spot. I mean, I can't compare them now. I mean, we just glued together a team and a game plan that day just to, so I really can't. I'm not trying to avoid your question. I really can't compare because we didn't have a team that could really make a challenge that day because we were a little bit limited. But I do think their team has continued to improve. One of the things that we banked on today is that they wouldn't shoot the 3 well, and they made shots. They made a 3-point shot, and that's the difference in the game.